Risa unfortunately can't make it. I apologize. She's out doing some very, important life-saving mission.
I'm sure she's a woman of chesed. She's always doing important
Absolutely.
life-saving things. Send her my regards, please.
I promise to represent her faithfully.
Okay, that is wonderful. Okay, and Lisa, are you in a good spot?
Yeah, we just won't have music.
All right, that's fine. Okay, and Rabbi Goldberg, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and just everybody should be aware that we are recording this session. There's some people who have conflicts, can't make it today. So just beware that if you say something incriminating, it's going to be on the web. No. I'm very happy to see everyone here, and I want to welcome you and hope that your summer is going well. And if it's not, today's session should make it go a little bit better. We've all been experiencing extra stress because of COVID. I mean, life by itself is stressful, and COVID has just added another layer onto it. So we thought it might be helpful to have our experts share some techniques on how to reduce stress. And Lisa Feinstone will be addressing that aspect of the program, and she just spoke to you. We were also very privileged to have Rabbi Ariel Goldberg with us today. He is a therapist working at the Jewish Social Services Agency in Rockville. He's relatively new to our area, but prior to coming to the DC area, he was a board certified chaplain at a major New York hospital. True, Rabbi?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. I hate to misrepresent people. So today we're going to ask Rabbi Goldberg to start us off with some calming thoughts. And then Lisa will be teaching us a couple of exercises that we can take with us from here on out, whenever we're feeling a little tight, a little stressed. And if you'll just bear with me for a moment, I'm going to admit a few more people who are going to be joining us now. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. So without further ado, I will ask Rabbi Goldberg to begin the program.
Good morning, Shavua Tov. Everyone can hear me all right?
Shavua Tov. Yeah.
Excellent.
Shavua Tov.
It's good to meet all of you, and a privilege to be with you today. We're about to begin the month of Elul, the prelude to the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, also known as the high holidays. And it's a time that often raises a lot of emotions for people. And in some ways, this is entirely appropriate. It's the season of teshuvah, of returning to ourselves, returning to Hashem. It's a time of introspection, and ultimately of being judged for the year that was, and please God, written and sealed for a new year of life. One of the most awe-filled passages of the Nusach, the liturgy for the days of awe, is the Piyut, Unatana Tokef, a liturgical poem from the 12th century, which is recited on both days of Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur. And it begins, on Rosh Hashanah it is inscribed, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed. How many shall pass away, and how many shall be born? Who shall live, and who shall die? Who in a good time, and who by untimely death? B'Rosh Hashanah yikatevun, u'b'Yom Tzom Kippur yichatemun, kama yavorun, v'kama yavriun, mi'yichya u'miyamut, mi'bekitzo u'milo bekitzo. And near the end, it has the words, but prayer repentance, and deeds of righteousness overcome, avert the evil decree. Tefillah, teshuva, tzedakah, mavirin, et roa hagzera. When I was growing up and going to shul for the Yamim Noraim, I took this for granted. As I became an adult, I began to really struggle with it, with the idea that doing these things could avert the evil decree. And this was particularly on my mind after a dear friend of mine died at the age of 25 from a terrible, incurable cancer. He was a profoundly religious person, really one of the people I've known who was closest to Hashem. And I simply could not make sense of why Hashem would allow his life to end before he had really had a chance to live and to do goodness in the world. A couple years later, I was in Israel studying at my yeshiva, learning Hebrew in depth and learning Torah in depth. And I began to reframe my understanding. In Hebrew, the noun almost always precedes the modifier. So the phrase that we're looking at says, ma'avirin et roa hagzera. But if it was really saying, but tefillah, teshuva, and tzedakah annul or avert the evil decree, it would have said hagzera hara'ah. First comes the noun, decree, and then should come evil. But it says, in fact, ma'avirin et roa hagzera. So what that is actually telling us is not that we can annul the evil decree, but annul the evilness of the decree. And you'll sometimes see in later translations of the Machzor, like the Koren Sachs edition from 10 years ago, that it's changed what had been the standard translation, annul the evil decree, to overcome the evilness of the decree. So what this means, in other words, is that tefillah, teshuva, and tzedakah can't change our fates, but they can change us. It can turn a terrible experience from one that can overcome us and even defeat us into one that we define through our goodness and the goodness of our actions. So that we experience illness or adversity or stress in our life, not from a position of helplessness and terror, but from one of being alive and fully human and engaged with what is happening to us. When I took on this understanding, it resonated with my friend's story. And later on, it resonated with the stories of people I served as a chaplain at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. I have known many patients who faced tragic fates, who died long before they had reached a full lifespan. But although their deaths were tragic, they were not tragic people. I have seen many people, Jews as well as non-Jews, who used prayer to ground themselves, to connect with God and connect with the Chelek Elokim Mimal, the peace of God that dwells within each of us. And this helped them to feel more connected, less alone, and deal with their life one day at a time. I have seen people who during their illnesses did teshuva, who sought forgiveness from people they had wronged. And just about all of us have done things in our lives that we regret, that have hurt people that we care about. We all have what to do teshuva for. And in some cases, they were able to repair and renew relationships that had become strained. Whatever the case, when they did teshuva, whether the other person was receptive or not, the person doing teshuva was able to experience some inner healing. I have seen people who did tzedakah, who did deeds of righteousness, even as they were so limited in what they could do, For example, hospital patients who were confined to their beds, but were able to give support and positive energy to the people who were caring for them, whether their family or their professional caregivers. Now, what I've been sharing with you now are extreme cases, but I think that we can all learn from them. We all have times in our lives where, due to stress or adversity, we can feel overwhelmed. But I think that not only during Elul and Tishrei, but at all times, Tefillah, Teshuvah, and Tzedakah can help us to return to ourselves and be more fully engaged with our lives. Sometimes when I have therapy clients who are feeling overwhelmed by a stressful situation, I will recommend to them becoming involved in some form of tzedakah, perhaps doing some kind of volunteer work that does kindness for others. And in a way, it seems counterintuitive. Understandably, when we're going through stresses, whether they're moderate or acute, we feel like we have nothing to give, like getting by can take every ounce of our energy. And we may become very focused on ourselves and what's going wrong. But what tzedakah can do for us is give us a chance to focus on others, to take some of the spotlight off of ourselves. And that can allow us to feel a connection to our shared humanity, to feel less alone by connecting with other people who are suffering. And recognizing that even as we may feel very limited in some parts of our lives, we can nevertheless give to others. We always have something to give. And we can do a little something to help heal the world so that the evilness of the decree can, please God, be lifted. And lately, I have been recommending to some folks that they consider the possibility of volunteering for Bikur Cholim of Greater Washington, because I think that there's something very special about the mitzvah of Bikur Cholim, visiting the sick, and that in bringing the energy of healing to others, we're also helping to heal ourselves. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. You will, you said some things that I think all of us can relate to. And there's also a connection with Lisa, who I'm about to introduce, because Lisa has worked with people who have been cancer patients and have dealt with severe illnesses as well. And she can speak to that a bit. So I'd like to introduce Lisa Feinstone, who is a dear friend and an outstanding yoga teacher. I've had the privilege of taking many classes with her, but she moved to Florida, so that makes it a little tougher. Lisa has started and implemented the only pediatric therapeutic yoga program in the state of Florida, which is amazing to me. And Lisa, on a regular basis, working in the hospital, deals with people who are experiencing pain and trauma post-surgery, or cancer patients, or transplant patients. There's a whole raft of people who benefit from her yoga and stress reduction techniques and skills. In a recent example of a cohort that Lisa has been working with, there were pregnant women who were at high risk, and through the breathing techniques and various relaxation techniques that she knows and shared with this group of women, she brought their blood pressure down considerably, which was of great benefit to the health of their pregnancies. So I'm going to ask Lisa to start off by telling us a bit about how breathing and relaxation techniques work, and the benefits that they provide us. And then we're going to go into some exercises. It's all yours, Lisa.
Thank you, my dear friend Ellen. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Rabbi, your words moved me very much because it kept bringing to mind all of my patients that I see in front of me, my friends in the hospital. So I do work with children ranging in ages from 3 months old to 20 years old, as well as their parents. And you just reminded me just very quickly, I have one friend, she's 15, and she has a very poor prognosis. She maybe has 6 months to 12 months to live. There's no more treatments they can give for her. Yet every time she comes to the hospital, she takes the time from her bed to write encouraging letters to other friends that are on the floor. Somehow we get them to meet in the playroom or somehow get to meet each other so they can start communicating. And then I'll go into other rooms of 12 and 13-year-olds that are writing letters back or sending poems, or mothers that post 10 different letters of encouragement and give it to the nurses to give to all the other kids on the floor. So here these kids are knowing, dealing with horrible, horrible fates and things. And yet from their bed, they make so many changes in so many others' lives. And that's what I keep trying to tell them. I'm like, look at what you're doing. And they're like, no, I'm just in bed and I'm sick. And I'm like, no, look at how you're helping so many other people. And it's this ripple effect, like you see in a lake, when one ripple and then another and more. And then I had the most stirring moment. I'm dealing with a 5-year-old transplant whose mother is from India, very, very traditional family. And while she's in the playroom, as I'm about to leave after the yoga session, she's on a chair. She has about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 tubes literally going into her body. And she takes the time to jump out of her chair, much to her mother's dismay. And she goes over to me and she kisses her hands. And then she proceeds to touch them on my sneakers and my knees and me, giving me a special blessing that they give to elders in India. So that was one of the most profound moments I've ever had, where this child takes the time to give me respect and to show respect as best as she can. So yes, it's you encounter this. I encounter this every day. So why am I doing the yoga in the hospital? I can tell you it's the most comprehensive form of self-care. And what I love about yoga is it's 99% practice, 1% theory. So that we're going to do today, when you physically do them, they call it sand scars, imprints into your memory. You will remember them, like when you ride a bike and you don't ride a bike for a while and you get back on the bike. So these techniques are to be used anywhere you are, any location, on or off the mat, at any time. I've even used them in the supermarket. People just didn't know I was doing them while I was standing in a very long line. So I hope that these help you as well. And then at the very end, before we start the relaxation, for just a little bit, I can take some questions. So yoga, what does yoga mean? It's the Sanskrit language, the ancient language of India, and it means to yoke. So it's mind-body connection. I don't know if you've heard the expression tired but wired, where your mind is exhausted and your brain will not turn off. You're going from one thought to the next. They call it monkey brain, where your thoughts go from branch to branch to branch. And by the way, you have as many as 50,000 thoughts a day, but we don't give much thought to our thoughts, but 50,000 a day. So, or tired but wired, when your brain is very triggered and your mind is mush, and it's saying, just go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. So I'm hoping that these techniques will help for them to connect with each other, because when the brain, when the mind more rested, the body becomes more peaceful. And these breathing techniques that calm down the body, once the body is calmer, then the mind is more restful. Because basically these breathing techniques bring in more oxygen, they calm down your sympathetic nervous system, and they increase the parasympathetic. That's your relaxation response. So there are physiological changes that really do happen in your body from these very, very simple exercises or techniques. I tell
Lisa,
the kids,
I should have mentioned that a friend who's on the video, Zev Silverman, has a PhD in anatomy. So Zev, you just keep nodding your head to everything that Lisa says, okay?
Hey, I have validation.
Yes, exactly.
From the authority. Thank you, Ellen. So yeah, they call it in yoga pranayama your life force. And I tell kids in the hospital, it's your superpower. You always have it with you and it's always accessible. We just don't always pay attention to it. So I will get started. The goal in these breathing techniques, I tell everyone, you don't need to take a deep breath. Sometimes that causes more stress and causes more anxiety. Just slow and steady breathing. So it can be a little inhale and a little exhale. It doesn't have to be a huge inhale or a huge exhale. So it's not always necessary. I don't know why that's the mantra of everybody to take a deep breath. I find it very frustrating sometimes. And it sometimes, as I said, it can make it worse. So let's get started. It's ideal if you can to breathe in through your nose and to breathe out through your nose. Why is that? The breath comes very fast out of the mouth when you exhale. And in yoga, they like a little bit longer exhale. So it's kind of like a 1-2 ratio. Breathing in, 1001, breathing out, 1001, 1002. That's the ideal breathing that you want to aim for. Yoga is also very non-judgmental. If it's not happening at the moment, that's okay. Your body's like, we're not doing this right now. So that's all right. It doesn't mean don't give up on it. Just now is not the right time. However, if you have a stuffy nose or allergies or any other kind of issues, breathe however is most comfortable for you for these exercises. It can be in and out through the mouth, in the nose, out through the mouth. Your body will tell you what's the most comfortable. Just listen to what your body is saying, because our bodies do feel our thoughts, our feelings, and our expressions. Okay, so the first one, we're just going to start with open hands, if you can see mine, and just extend your hands. Yours can be in your lap, by the way. I'm just doing mine so you can see, but yours can be down in your lap where it's comfortable. And eyes can be open or closed. So I always tell people, you just have to hear me. You don't have to see me. So as you breathe in, just slowly close your hands in a gentle fist. And as you exhale, not when but when you exhale, just slowly open them like a release. Trying that again on your inhale, because we all breathe differently, slowly closing them. And on your exhale, slowly releasing them. Just this very simple technique you can do anywhere. So breathing in peace as you inhale, and maybe exhaling any fears, any thoughts, feelings that are bothering you. One more time. On your inhale, breathing in, and on your exhale, letting go. I heard once, whatever is out of your hands, let it go out of your mind. So, because we cannot, there's only so much in our control. So whatever is out of your hands, let it go out of your mind. Okay, any questions on that? All right, we'll go to the next one. This is called 3 calming breaths. And again, you just can hear me, you don't have to see me. So I invite you, if you're comfortable, to place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. Eyes can be open or closed. And we'll do 3 rounds of this. It's just called 3 calming breaths. So as you breathe in, notice the air going into your nose and leaving the nose. That's how you're breathing. And in your head, just say breath 1, or audible if you want. Breathing in again, noticing your chest gently rising and falling. In your head, breath 2. Breathing in again, noticing the belly gently rising and falling. In your head, breath 3. We'll try that again. You're basically feeling the air move through your body. Inhaling, noticing the warm air entering the nose and leaving the nose, breath 1. Inhaling again, noticing the hand rising on your chest and falling, breath 2. Breathing in again, noticing the belly gently rising and falling, breath 3. We'll do one more round. Inhaling, maybe noticing cooler air going into the nose and maybe warmer air as it exits, breath 1. Breathing in again, noticing the chest gently rising and falling, breath 2. Breathing in again, noticing the belly rising and falling, breath 3. So the whole point of these is just a physical tactile reminder to your body that then tells your brain to just slow and steady breathing. All right, any questions there? All right. So another way to focus your breathing, you can keep breathing however you're comfortable. Hands can be in the lap, on the chest, and the belly. Oh, there's a question. Yes. But I can't hear you.
I know, I had to unmute myself. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
When you're talking about breathing, I study this guy, Thich Nhat Hanh, and he's just been the biggest help in the whole world, which I'll talk about later. But isn't it important to breathe in and feel that breath? Just feel your breath and put your hand on your stomach and just, concentrate on your breathing. Because one thing I've noticed during relaxation is to concentrate on your breathing because you can't think of anything else. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. That's a very important point because you are right. That's what differentiates yoga from any other like sport is you're always to be focused on your breathing, and you can't empty your mind, but you can replace anxious thoughts with more calming thoughts. And you're right. That's what they call meditation, thinking about one thing. And right now we're thinking about breathing. So you're correct.
More than it's more than meditation. It's more like it's keeping the thoughts out and keeping them away and not allowing the thoughts to come into your mind.
That's right, because you're
Just
focused,
keeping them out. And also I like what you said about, getting rid of them. But I find it easier to just keep them out.
That's a wonderful suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good points. Yes. All right. Another way to stay focused on your breathing, you can continue breathing while I'm talking, is just counting your breaths like you would count sheep. So in your head, breathing in is 1, breathing out is 2, breathing in is 3, breathing out is 4. Often I'll do this at night. Sometimes I'll tell myself if I get to 50, then I'll try a different technique. But basically, these are good things to do before you're going to bed. It's to prepare your body for sleep, like you prepare for a meal. You set out a plate, utensils, a napkin, a cup. These are the same kind of things of self-care before you go to sleep. So that's another technique. Or you can give your breath a color or colors. It could be one color as it enters your body, and it can be the same or a different color as it leaves your body. So for instance, my colors are blue and purple. So I can imagine this beautiful turquoise blue like the ocean as I breathe in, entering my body. And then I can imagine this gorgeous lavender shade of purple as it leaves my body. So just giving your breath a color is another way. You can also use what they call in yoga a mantra, a phrase, something that you would repeat over and over. I see people nodding. It can be as simple as breathing in, I am calm. Breathing out, I am relaxed. Breathing in, I am calm. Breathe out, I am relaxed. Or it could be a favorite saying or passage from the Torah. It could be part of the Shema. It could be anything that you want, as long as you say the same thing, breathing in your head and breathing out. They've also shown that when you talk out loud and move, you'll remember it more. So as you breathe in, you could even just use your hands and say it out loud. I am calm. I am peaceful. I am calm. I am peaceful. So just moving with the breath and audibly saying something really helps your mind remember it even more. Any questions so far or suggestions? Okay. This next technique I like, again, it's a tactile, visual, physical way. If it's comfortable to put your hands together, you would just join your hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our fingers down with each breath. So a breath is an inhale plus an exhale. So as I breathe in, and when I breathe out, I just lower my pinkies. Breathing in, breathing out, my ring finger. In, breathing out, my middle fingers. Breathing in, breathing out, my first fingers. Breathing in, breathing out, my thumbs. Breathing in and breathing out, just starting over. So breathing in, and when I breathe out, I lower my ring finger. My pinky, sorry. Breathing in, breathing out, the ring finger. Breathing in, breathing out, the middle finger. Breathing in, breathing out, the first finger. Breathing in, breathing out, the thumbs. Breathing in and breathing out, going back, or any system that you want to do. It can even be breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. As long as you just keep it slow, even if you're not breathing slow, your hands can go slow, and eventually your breath will slow down instead of like that. So it's another tactile, visual reminder of just slowing down the breath. Any questions or suggestions on that technique? Okay, so the last one is called circle breath. Many of my friends in the hospital love this. So first we're going to do it physically with our arms, if you can. If not, that's okay. You can even just have your hand on your lap and just move a finger, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're going to literally paint our breath. So you're going to dip it in your favorite color. Pick two colors. I'm going to do blue. And as you breathe in, I want you to paint half that circle. And as you exhale, mine now changes to purple. You're going to close the circle. So as you inhale, I have this blue inhale, whatever your color is. And as you exhale, it can be the same or a different shade or another color. Just closing that circle. So breathing in and then breathing out. So the goal is my blue inhale just swirls into my purple exhale. And my purple exhale swirls into my blue inhale. Just breathing in and breathing out. Just imagining that circle breath of all the swirling of colors. So now I invite you, you can rest your arm, eyes can be open or closed, and go ahead and dip in your favorite colors. And it can be a circle, it can be the infinity, that 8 on its side. It can be a triangle, it can be a square, it can be the Jewish star. Whatever shape that you want to do, as long as you're breathing in and painting your inhales, and as you exhale, you're painting your exhales. So just try that just for a moment. Inhaling, whatever shape you're doing, and on your exhaling, just following those colors, whatever shape you're closing. Inhaling again, noticing that colored inhale, and on your exhale, doing the same. One more time, just inhaling and exhaling. All right, any suggestions or questions on that technique? Okay, the last one is just simple. We're not going to practice it, but it can be very grounding. I do it in guided imagery, which is where we go somewhere. If you can, if you're having a very hard time, change the scenery. Leave the room you are and take a walk. If you can go outside or on your porch, that's even better. And then use all of your physical senses that you'd like to put you there. So imagining if you're walking outside, notice if the ground, how it feels under your feet. If you're barefoot, is it warm? Is it cool? Notice the air temperature as it wraps around your body. Is there a warm breeze, cool breeze? Notice the smells. Maybe there's a particular smell or you're near your favorite flower. Notice the sounds that you hear. You can even take a moment to stand or to sit somewhere where you feel safe and you can close your eyes and just listen. You can even set the timer on your phone for 4 minutes, 1 minute, and just close your eyes and let your mind just wander to all the sounds around you. And then using the sense of sight. So not just looking at the whole picture, but maybe zeroing in, maybe looking at a particular tree. Noticing the color and the shape, the size of the tree, the texture. If you have any particular favorite tastes, maybe you have your favorite snack with you while you're outside or inside. But the best way of, it's like dropping an anchor in the middle of a storm, is just to use as many physical senses as you can just to put you there. And what it does is it just replaces whatever thoughts are in your head with where you are at the moment. Because we can't change the past, and the future is really in our thoughts. I think Mark Twain once said, "I lived a life filled with terrible tragedies, most of which never happened." So we put our bodies through all this stress thinking this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and it may never even occur. So always, if you can, just come back to the present, where you are right now. And I'm sure you'll come up with your own techniques. And Ellen, I don't know if there's a way to send some to you and you can share with the group afterwards. We can always learn from each other, especially me. I'm always learning.
Absolutely, Lisa. If you email me a document, I'll be happy to share it with the group.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I meant I can send these, but if anybody else has any ideas, like it was Shelley that was suggesting, we can share those with the group. And she can share the book that she's reading, any good books, maybe. People can send in anything. Yes, Shelley.
I have a very simple technique, and I memorized it, but it's very short. It's from this book called Creating True Peace by Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. May he rest in peace. He has many books. One of them is this other book that I started with, which is called The Miracle of Mindfulness. But this is for breathing, and when you're totally stressed and you need to feel, this calms me down and others just in a second. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just express it and say it very, very, it's very short.
Okay.
If I have time, breathing in, I am aware. Oh, now you put your hand on your diaphragm and you say, breathing in, I am aware only of my in-breath. Breathing out, I am aware only of my out-breath. Then you go in and out. And the next one is breathing in, I am aware that my in-breath goes deep. In, out. Breathing out, I'm aware that my out-breath grows deep. In, out, deep, deep. Breathing in, I'm aware that my in-breath grows slowly. And breathing out, I am aware that my out-breath grows slowly. In, out, slow, slow. and what you've done with this little technique, which I've memorized, and it's one of my main things that I go to, is you have slowed down your breathing. And if you were anxious before, this takes it down, and you do it over and over and over again. I would be happy to send that, or the names of the books, the pages, what have you. But it's also, it's not allowing any of those nasty thoughts to come in. You're just concentrating on your breathing.
Nice.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. And
Thank you,
that
Shelley.
phrase.
If you want to send that to me, I can share it with everybody. Okay.
I'll do that. And I'll also send you, there's a little portion, a paragraph on mindfulness and concentrating on doing the dishes, which is, believe it or not, can be an enlightening experience.
Okay. All right. Well, Lisa, let's continue.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Shelley. I'll use that in the hospital. I appreciate it. All right, so now we're going to do, it takes maybe like 10 minutes. I want you to relax however you want. You can, cut off your video so we don't see. You can lay down, lay back in a chair. We're going to do a relaxation exercise. So put yourself in what they call Shavasana, which is the most comfortable pose. The first pose in yoga was Sukhasana, comfort pose, so that they could meditate all day. So take off your glasses if you need to, turn off your phones. I apologize for not arranging in advance to have music that you could hear. But if you want to put your own music on in the background, you can, if you don't think it will, as long as you can still hear me. And just take your time getting comfortable. And as I said, you don't have to see me, you just have to hear me. And as we're going along, if there's anything, just let me know. All right, so I'm going to give everybody like a minute just to make themselves comfortable as much as possible. Like I said, you can turn off your video if you want some privacy. Some people don't like being seen while they're sleeping.
Okay.
All right. So this is just called what I call a body scan. And it's basically, I'm relaxing you. I'm going to start at the top of your head and go all the way down to your toes. I see some of you are getting very comfortable. That's wonderful. All right. The first thing that we're going to do is just focus on your breathing. Any of those techniques that you want to use that we discussed, or that even Shelley shared with us. So just taking a moment, breathing however you're comfortable. And we're going to start with relaxing your face first. Gently and calmly bring all of your attention to your forehead. Feel all the muscles in your forehead. And let them just relax so they can become nice and loose. Even your eyebrows. Next, become aware of how your eyes feel. Are they tense and jumpy, like ping pong going back and forth? The eyes are usually the hardest part of the body to relax. So let them loosen and just kind of float in your eye sockets. You don't need them right now. Sometimes I'll use an eye pillow, which is a little bit of pressure on the eye area. And that's also very helpful for that relaxation response. So let any tension and movement in your eyes just kind of gently drift away. Relax and just quiet them. Now just move on to your lips and your teeth and all the muscles of your jaw and your mouth and your throat. Let your tongue relax in your mouth and say to yourself, I don't have to speak now for a few minutes. Let all the skin become very loose and still. Let your scalp relax and let your ears kind of drop down towards the floor. Your eyes may continue to jump around a little, but don't worry. After just some regular practice, you'll be able to relax them more and more. And now I invite you to relax your shoulders, left and right shoulders, left and right arms, and left and right hands. Feel as if you're inside your arms and they're hollow inside. Let all the muscles of the shoulders kind of settle loosely on the floor. Now move down into your elbow joints and imagine that you can see and feel the bones. Let them just relax and loosen. Now move down into your forearms, wrists, and right into your hands and fingers, making them hollow and loose and empty. Relax all your fingers completely, as though they were empty gloves lying on the table. And now move your attention into your chest. And for a few moments, just observe the air moving in and out of your lungs, like a tiny, warm, relaxing beam of light. Feel your heart beating softly and rhythmically. And notice your belly rising and falling as you breathe. Do not make any attempt to speed up or slow down your breathing. Instead, picture your lungs. Then take in a gentle breath of air, just as though you were sighing. Let the breath out, relax your lungs. Take another gentle breath in, and you can even audibly just sigh it out. And feel as though your heart also relaxes. And just let go of your breathing altogether and relax all the tension or effort in your breathing. Observe your belly and try to relax the squeezing effort as you breathe out. Each time you exhale, relax the squeezing of your breath a little more, making it as relaxed as possible so that you're exerting almost no effort or strain to breathe. Now move your attention down into your legs and make your legs hollow and empty, just as you did with the arms. Loosen and relax your thighs and your hip sockets. Let your legs completely relax and cease moving. You can imagine that you're inside your thighs and they're also hollow. Relax your knee joints and feel as though that lower leg is also hollow and empty, all the way into your toes. Imagine your feet are empty with nothing inside, not even any bones. Feel your toenails relax and loosen. Now move up your empty feet, legs, and thighs silently. And bring your attention to the base of your spine. Feel your spine and all its joints from the base of your spine up to the base of your skull at the back of the neck. As you move upward through your waist area, relax any sign of tension so that your entire spine loosens. When you get to the back of your neck, spend a little extra time at this spot. It's a common tension site and needs extra attention. Relax all of the muscles and tension at the back of your neck where your spine connects to your head. Imagine you can look right down inside your spinal column as though you're a rope dangling down into a dark well. Relax your spine so much that it feels as loose as that rope. And now move inside your head, bringing attention back to your face to see whether or not there's any tension anywhere in your face. Relax your eyes even more and let them float, almost as though you can't even feel them move at all. And now just quietly observe the entire inside of your body from head to toe. Recheck the 3 main tension areas. 1, is your breathing relaxed? Is it slow and gentle? 2, are your eyes and facial muscles relaxed? And 3, is the back of your neck relaxed? Your body will eventually feel as if it was just an empty shell with no tension anywhere. The only movement you might hear will be your breathing. That will also be very relaxed. Now relax the entire inside of your head, focusing on your breathing. Feel your brain quietly settling inside your head with no effort of strain. Just quiet and still. Just breathing in and breathing out. You can even imagine breathing in through your toes and breathing out through the top of your head. Or breathing in through your fingertips and breathing out through your toes. You can direct your calming breath anywhere you want in your body. And just staying as you are right now. I'll pay attention for just 1 minute. I invite you to just continue relaxing all the different parts of your body. Your face and your eyes. Emptying your arms and your hands. Your lungs and your heart. Your belly. Your legs and your feet. Especially the thighs and the knees. The back and the shoulders. The inside of your head. And the 3 main tension areas. Your face and your eyes, your breathing, and the back of your neck, just for a minute. And remaining as you are, you can gently just start to move your fingers and your toes. You can softly open your eyes whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Lisa. That
You're
was
most
so
welcome.
relaxing. Mm. And Shelley is applauding you.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
You're most welcome. You can thank Ellen. She's the organizer.
I can thank Lisa. She's the pro. I'm so glad that we were recording this because I'm going to play your voice over and over and over, and I'll send out the recording to anybody who wants it,
Thank
or
you.
everybody. I'll just send it to everyone. I love listening to your voice.
I just have one thing to say. I learned that technique when I was about 17 or 18.
And it's been working for you.
Well, actually, no.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't want to say anything, but I tried so many different things, and then when I came upon this mindfulness, and it just is fantastic. And not everything works with everybody. I mean, that relaxation technique. I mean, I had yoga, and we didn't use it in that, but I understand why you would try to get the tension out of your body, but I also read that the mind and the body are connected. And if the mind tells the body that the body's in danger, all of a sudden, so what you have to do is stop the thoughts before they even get there. And so there's so much in these books, and I'm going to send, I need your address, Ellen, email address.
I'll email it to you.
Okay, I will, but there's so much in these books. There's so much relaxation in there. You wouldn't believe it. And I mean, it's just fantastic. It changes you so much. And I recommend one mindfulness every day, and this, and this guy was a genius.
You're right, Shelley. My husband will lay there with his eyes going back and forth, and after 5 minutes, he can't take it anymore. However, what he does find relaxing is if he goes on a fast walk, or some people find mindfulness running, as you said, ways that they can just, so you're right. Some of these techniques work for some and some for others, and you have to find what works for you.
I tried for years, but
Then you move on to something else.
I would like to say hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Lisa. I would like to thank you so much. I have seen Lisa start out in her yoga education before she had any, but always wanted to do this, wanted to help to keep people calm and focused. And you are terrific, and I thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Linda. I miss my neighbors. I was fortunate to live on the same block as Linda and Ellen. We were all neighbors, and I miss my Maryland days terribly.
We were very fortunate to have you.
Indeed.
as a neighbor. Yeah. Very much. Does anybody have any reactions to the guided imagery we just went through, or any questions for Lisa?
I think Lisa's voice was very calming and soothing, and the guided imagery helped me, especially the part where your body's hollow and you could just feel your bones go to the ground. That's quite a vision. So yeah, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
For getting my day started in a good way.
Well, we're just about at the hour, and I'd like to ask Rabbi Goldberg if he has a few words that he would like to impart to us as we end the program.
Hello
And I do want to
again.
thank everyone for participating, and particularly for Lisa and Rabbi Goldberg for their roles in making this program. Rabbi Goldberg?
Thank you very, very much for that meditation, Lisa. If folks would like a guide for experiencing the days of awe mindfully, there's a beautiful book by Rabbi Alan Liu, Zikronoli Bracha, called "This is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared: The Days of Awe as a Journey of Transformation." Highly recommended. It's very readable and very wise. In this week's parsha, Parshat Re'eh, we read Re'eh Anochi Natan Lefanechem Hayom Bracha V'Klala. I'm setting before you this day a blessing and a curse. And this thought is continued in a forthcoming parsha, Nitzavim, where it says, I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. Achaim v'hamavet natati lefanecha habracha v'aklala b'charta b'chaim leman tichyeh ata v'zarecha. Every moment, every breath contains in it the possibility of blessing or curse, of life or death. And Hashem is telling us that it's a choice. It may sound obvious. Of course, we're going to want to embrace life, but if it was obvious, we wouldn't need to be reminded to choose life. The fact is, it's not always obvious. Sometimes life can really get to us, and we're not choosing life. We're becoming enmeshed with our stresses. But even so, the choice is always ours. So I bless us all that throughout the year, but particularly
I don't know if he knows he's frozen.
Yeah, Rabbi Goldberg, can you hear us?
Oh, right in the middle of a blessing.
Right. I don't know if I can do anything.
How about a chat? Oh, he may not see it.
I think he's probably signing off and signing on again.
Or we can just give our own selves the continuation of the blessing.
Go ahead, Linda. I nominate you. Seriously, Linda, I'm sure you have a blessing for us.
Just to continue with what he was saying, may
Yes.
your days of awe be meaningful. May they be peaceful. And I would like to go back to what he said about what Lisa even said about preparation, that according to Shakespeare, readiness is all, and we need to prepare ourselves for what is upcoming.
Beautiful. Beautiful. May we all be inscribed for the book of life. May we all have a good and healthy and happy new year.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone.
Linda and Ellen, do you have a moment to stay on?
Yes. I do. Linda?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you to everyone and have a happy Sunday.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm so tired. Well, my friend, you know, these are behaviors I must stop.
Bye, Shelley. Okay.
I think Esther's still on.
Yeah. Etty, we've completed the program.
I think they're both on and not present.
Okay.
So
Okay.
okay,
And-
why
and
don't
Reb-
why don't we cut out of here, and I will send a very quick Zoom link
Okay.
to both of you. Okay?
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye.